what we're here today to talk about is customer obsessed companies. And it's that obsession to make sure that that customer experience is incredible. And if you do that, you're going to see your conversions go up across the board. So today I get to talk with Zach. Who is Zach Bailey? Zach is on the front lines with our agencies, our top clients, formerly on our Plus team. And really, when it comes to CRO, Zach is talking with clients every single day. And today's a special show that I get to have our own Justuno employee, Zach, on the team, from the team on the show. So, without further ado, we're going to kick it off here. And today we're going to kind of peel back the curtains a little of what happens inside Justuno. What are we hearing from customers? What are we hearing from agencies? What was our own internal team saying about conversions, about pop-ups, about the entire customer experience? And so welcome, Zach. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's always fun to talk e-commerce. It's always fun to help spark inspiration, to spark questions, right? And to take a different lens to something you might have thought you had some knowledge about and drink a different cup of water, and in my experience, that's something that I've found because of my exposure to different clients is you can get a lot of different great perspectives, but be open to a lot of those because in those is where the opportunity is to find where the value is of doing on-site segmented messaging.
So for any of our agency partners, tech partners, customers that haven't had the pleasure of working with you, Zach, what would you say on an average day, as you're working with clients, what are you experiencing? What are you hearing from clients? What's a common trend you're seeing as you work with every single one of these clients and partners?
Yeah, a trend is definitely how to improve the overall customer experience, how to improve list growth, and how to improve, which is one of my favorite words in e-commerce, which is conversions, right? And from what I've seen, for people to really understand about on-site messaging is to look at something that you're more familiar with. And I'm sure that that's going to be something like your email flow. And to say, we've had success with these foundational email flows that we are familiar with, like a new visitor email flow, a browse abandonment, a cart abandonment flow, and maybe a win-back strategy. And I'm able to help people and expose them to that same philosophy that you've been doing for years with your email is something you should be doing on site. And the reason for that is those same journeys that are happening through your email flow, which are more of what I call a reactionary type of marketing message, you can bring to more of an offensive in the moment experience on site. And that's where people really light up and say, I didn't think of it like that. I thought that on-site messages were just one pop-up to give somebody a discount to get an email, but it's a lot more than that. And it should be a lot more than that because you're already doing a lot more than that, but you just haven't introduced another way of doing that on site through these different segmented strategies. That part there, that key term, segmented strategies, that's what Justuno is all about.
Part of this is us internally really understanding what these strategies, this CRO audit that we're doing as a company with our clients. It's much more than, like you said, just capturing emails with a pop-up. We've been doing this for 10 years. And as we look at understanding the entire customer experience, and as you analyze different websites, there's opportunities throughout the entire experience. And I part of today too is for me myself to get caught up on all the stuff that Zach does on a daily basis. I mean, it's so much. I've seen a couple teardowns that you've done, and I noticed that you focus on the product page a lot with clients, which incorporates all the different apps and tech partners. What are you noticing common trends on some of our clients and their product pages?
For product pages, I think that what I'm noticing is that there's an opportunity to use on-site messaging to expedite all of the objections that might happen when somebody's considering buying your product. And what I mean by that, right, is one thing Erik and we love a lot is videos. Being able to have an embedded video on a product page that shows the experience of what the product can provide. Now, think about it. If you're a visitor, you land on a product page, you start to go through this research process of saying, I'm considering this, but what pieces do I need in order to really make a purchase? I'm going to need to hear a review from someone. So there's an opportunity to take those reviews that maybe you're using through one of our tech partners like Yapto or Trustpilot, and surface that within the journey. Maybe you surface that when they're going to leave the site. Maybe you surface that when they've scrolled 50% down. But from an optimization strategy, the things that I help people uncover is that exact piece. When and where and how to surface that message. That's the piece that e-commerce owners and agency owners are able to really unpack with the Justuno service. And Erik knows, being a CEO, it's about the data. It's about knowing that version A is working better to influence the purchase on a 30% scroll compared to when somebody's already attempted to browse abound or exit the site.
So, building upon that, to kind of catch you up to speed, where like even the last few weeks, what we've really been focusing on is understanding the customer experience and understanding, looking at the market and understanding, I'm not going to use that word anymore, understanding, by the way. You look at your competitors, and we look at Amazon, and, there's a lot of different conversations being had today about Amazon and Jeff Bezos. What doesn't change today is that the reason they are winning is because from day one, Bezos made customer obsession his number one focus. He has to this day fought to make sure that your shopping experience is absolutely incredible. You ask anyone and they're like, yeah, they make it so easy. I love it. Even retailers themselves were like, yeah, I shop Amazon. It's easy. And so our job in 2023 is to break that experience down, compartmentalize it, and understand the different aspects of it, then work with our retailers to rebuild that within their store. They can't do a one-for-one all the way across, but with all the different, with the MarTech stacks available today, it can be done. And it also opens up the conversations we have with our clients of, look, do you understand what empathy do you have towards your customers? Have you shopped your own website? Where are you missing the Amazon experience, so to speak? Amazon isn't the villain. The villain is that it's building that customer experience is very difficult and complex. But once we break it down, you realize that you can not only can you get there pretty quick and remove all how complicated it is, but you can actually surpass Amazon because consumers do want to support brands directly. Along with that, by winning that customer, you own that customer. Amazon owns that customer now. Their first-party data, zero-party data, basics like their email address. So owning own channels is critical, and to do that, you have to win that customer on your site. And then then you get creative as we talk about what type of promotions to run. Well, if you manufacture a product, your DTC, then your margins are much higher because your cost is your cost. You can give that product away and the perceived value is way higher. So free gift with purchase, phenomenal promotion to run that Amazon can't. So then we start looking at your competitive advantages. And this is the story and package that I'm really excited about and see huge opportunity in 2023. So I'm curious how that sets with you, Zach, and kind of the angle you've been coming from with agencies and clients.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've found an e-commerce success formula really starts with one of the main things you surfaced, which is surface your competitive separators early and surface them often. Visitors do want to buy directly from brands. Visitors don't get attached to products. Visitors get attached to stories. They get attached to who the brand is. So one of the biggest competitors you can surface as a brand is, what is your impact, right? Who is this a woman founded brand? Is this a brand that's sustainable? Products that are being used? Is this a brand that each percentage of a purchase goes towards a charity
Causes, I remember that.
and causes? But let's talk about that experience. So what can a brand provide to do what I call reduce that conversion friction? Because ultimately what Amazon has done in their formula, like you said, is we make it easy. Well, they make it easy because they give you a lot of options. So how can one brand provide options? Well, our brand, for example, we can't compete that has Prime free delivery. Well, you actually can, because you can surface that, yeah, your brand might not be able to offer free delivery, but at a certain cart amount, you can. Or maybe what you can do as a brand is say, if somebody has 300 in cart, we'll give them a coupon that will offset what maybe the shipping cost would be. So now as a brand, you've been able to say, we might not compete in that we don't have the margin for free shipping. We know shipping is going to be one of the biggest reasons people are going to abandon item, that shipping cost, but provide them an option and say, hey, we can get you there. We can't remove the shipping cost, but we can offset some of the overall price as long as that's indicated in your message somewhere along that visitor journey. And what I recommend is surface that early in a banner, maybe after a few page scrolls, or like Erik said, on a specific product page. That right there has improved the experience because someone says, I would much rather buy from this brand. I really like their story. I got to read about them on their About Us page. I like their founders, but gosh, Amazon, they do provide free shipping. But remember, they don't, because everybody pays a subscription fee for Prime. So there is a cost associated with that. So you need to remind your customers that you don't have to always be paying a monthly fee with us to get that option.
I just wrote down key messaging, and this kind of gets into, you can't describe everything to a visitor, but it's about understanding their key, it's not about you, it's about them. And like for people shopping right now, the key thing is, will I get this in time for Christmas? And people are willing to pay. Studies show that consumers are willing to pay to get something expedited shipping. In my head right now, some of the most important things, let's just say you're on a product page, or you land on a page or on a product page, or you come through organic or paid to a product page, wherever you're landing. Understanding the channel that visitor came from, they need to be spoken to a certain way, understand their geographic region they came from, whether it's country or even city. So as we look at that, key things on my list, and I want to compare some lists here. We're going to build a list. For me, shipping, like you said, I want to know, when is this going to ship, or like, when am I going to get it? And in some instances, I don't have to get it next day. Some I'm okay. I'm shopping Monday and it arrives like Friday. That's okay. But certain instances you do need it, where Prime does come in and they're really good about it. Brands are notorious for not communicating their shipping, and shipping continues to be the #1 cart abandonment reason. So I think in 2023, we have to start at the top of, like, to me, communicating shipping, I feel, is one of the most important things. Next, so when you look at Amazon, it's price, selection, speed. Price, brands, they work really hard to protect their quote unquote brand, so they try not to discount directly on their site. You can do this with older product in your sales section. You can do it by taking those marketing dollars and investing it into shipping. There's different things you can do there. Or you can, sometimes people just want to be thrown a bone, whether it's 5% off or something, or we'll pay for your shipping or free gift. All right. With our list, as we focus back in, what would be a second thing?
So we've got shipping, right? And I think that that's key. And one thing I want people to think about with shipping is how to leverage that for different KPIs. Remember, you might have maybe an embedded message, or what we call an in-page message, that says, if you really have shipping concerns, you should sign up for our SMS, and they can click a button and then maybe open up that lead capture, because you should leverage things to give people options to improve their experience. They want to purchase from you, but if that message wasn't there to help them understand that, you can use our SMS for shipping questions, or maybe you have something that directs them to shipping options, or like you mentioned, banners that count down to say, buy by this date, so you get the gift or the product you need by this date. Again, that's improving the experience because you're setting expectations and you're being upfront. It also helps the site look active. Erik, you and I both know from a business perspective, an active site, have questions, I'm going to get a response. That's a trust building opportunity. Brands that build trust, people buy from. The thing that I would move past shipping is saying, well, when we're driving people to X page, are we giving them options? So if I'm spending a lot of money on SEO or maybe paid ads, like you said, where does that drop people on my website? What's that experience? I can't recommend enough for these e-commerce owners to truly go on Facebook ad library, click on your paid ads, Google yourself and go through that experience. Are you being landed on a blog page? Why not on your blog page do you not have a flyout that has a CTA that sends people to the product page that they're looking at?
I tell people, they ask me like advice, whatever, I go, if you do one thing today, go buy something on your website and document that experience. And don't even tell your staff that it's you. Buy it and wait for it to ship. And just take notes of that experience. And you'll be shocked.
Yeah. One of the things I love, like when you talk about foundational P, what would you tell someone after shipping? One of the things I love is I buy a product. Inside the product is a card, and it's a win back strategy. And it says, hey, this is from Erik at Justuno. Thanks for making your first purchase with us. How do they know that? Well, they've got the data to know this was my first purchase. Now it has in that same card, hey, here's, an incentive off for you to share with someone else so that they can make a purchase and you can look like the champion, or you can use it on your return purchase. I like that experience because they're already trusting that their product is going to provide the experience that I expected, and then I'm going to want to come back. We're already talking about building on a relationship. Can you do that in Justuno? You can absolutely target return visitors that have made a first purchase and they're landing back on the site to create that in the moment, to remind them that you recognize them. Hey man, I'm human, Erik. I like when people recognize me in something that I've done in our interaction, in our business relationship. It doesn't have to be an incentive-based message. It could be, hey, thanks for coming back. Have you seen that we've got new products that came in? Or one of the main things I see when you go all the way down the conversion funnel and you're at the shipping is that I find out I'm getting free shipping. And I'm like, whoa, why didn't they tell me that earlier on in the journey? I would have been way like you and I say this all the time. We've removed conversion friction by just letting you know the free shipping is available. So if that's not on your product page, or that doesn't come up somewhere on your product page, it definitely should. It should be made aware.
I put in brackets how to communicate with customer. Like you mentioned, there's so much, but what are these key things? Like understanding that, returns, communicating, we understand this, this is something probably important to you. But also is part of this is how you can communicate with us as a company. Here's all these fantastic ways, whether it's chat, whether it's phone, we understand customer service is important. And that's where Zappos, where Nordstrom's back, historically brick and mortar, they focus heavily on the customer service, customer experience. And present day, I feel like it's been glossed over. And as we look today at the market, as we look at advertising costs, as we look at this need for investing back inward with retention, with our current customers, with our data, it all comes down to what are we doing with this on-site experience to convert more. And what does convert more mean? A conversion is simply a desired outcome goal. And what are all your goals to convert, and how are we going, and where should I start, and what are we going to finish with? And the end result is it's a win across the boards: increase lead capture with email, SMS, increase, a decrease in car demand, increase in sales conversion, customer acquisition cost, ROAS, increase in first zero-party data. The list goes on. Repeat purchases because they had a great experience. The more likely to write a review. It goes on and on, but it's our job. And this is what you've been doing all year. Because I hear it and I see these shout outs. Anyone that hasn't worked with Zach, and how about anyone who has worked with Zach and is listening to this and has written back like a review, a text, an email, we see them. It's unbelievable. People are like, praise Zach. It's the coolest, greatest thing. And this is what we're going to be continuing to work on throughout 2023, is helping guide, our customers, our agency partners, how to understand this customer experience and the benefits that come from it, which is higher conversions and a healthier business.
Yeah,
So
I would say a lot of where that feedback comes from, and I would give this advice to any business owner. Before I'm a good speaker, before I'm a good strategist, I'm a listener. So I listen to your customers. Hey, why is it that I see this paid ad on a social media for 20% off, but when I land on site, I see 10% off? That right there is a huge opportunity, because that's the communication piece to your customers. You're already communicating things that are driving people to your website. And then there's an immediate whiplash effect of, where is that? Why did that not connect? And Erik and I have looked for strategies time and time again to help with return on ad investment. And if you're looking at one that's so easy, it's, are you connecting those pieces? The only way you'll connect that is if you go through those experiences and you challenge those people within your company to do the same, so that they can come back to you and they can tell you what their experience is. Then once you know that, that's where you go and lean on people like Erik and myself to get the advice to help you unpack that opportunity and what you can do better.
I like that question of, what are your customers asking? And like for me, drives me nuts. Why are you asking for my email address for a coupon when I've given it to you multiple times already? Shouldn't you already know who I am? And if so, why not just be like, welcome back, Erik, here's the most recent available code. And the second one, this just happened on me with Chubbies. It pissed me off, and I'm not buying. I got a pop-up said, would you like 15% off or something? I said, give them my email, which I'd given them before. And then guess what the next window was? You know what it is, probably, Zach.
You want 15% off?
No, it was, would you like 15% off again? Give us your sign up for SMS alerts. I'm like, wait, I just gave you my email. Did I get the code? Yeah. Like, where's the code? I'm like, I don't want to give you my phone number. And my only option was to close out. So I closed it out, sitting there being like,
did I ever get the code?
And I kept checking my email, never came. Then finally, like shopped and got distracted, kids, whatever. And then I was like going to bed and I look at my email, and then finally there was an email from them with a code. It was like, come on. Like, this is not, it's so basic, but that's what gives me hope, and I'm inspired, is that there's so much opportunity to increase the customer experience today. So what, when customers land, they go, what are their questions? Can I trust this company? If they haven't shopped there before, is this the product I want? When will it ship? What if I have a problem? Is this the best price I can get? Let me
What are
open up
other
a new
people's
tab.
experience? What are other people's experience with the product?
Can I
You
buy
know,
it on Amazon?
can I buy it somewhere else, like you said, for a better price? But also, what is my purchase impact? Is there an impact? If I make a purchase, does that affect the environment? What's the packaging like? Is there some type of charity involvement? Or how about this? Who am I even buying from? That's one of the biggest separators in what individual brands have, is to say, hey, this is me. It's me and my, we started this brand. We're just like you. We're out here. We're trying to make it, and you are helping us do that. And we want to help you by getting our product into your hands, because we believe in the experience that our product's going to provide to you. And you're a part of our extended business family. I mean, think about it. Back in the days, you go into a retail store, the sales associate, you saw them, they had a career there. That personal touch, how do you create that in e-commerce? That's a missing piece. How do you do that? Erik, you said it earlier. You recognize people. You give them what they need. Hey, you gave us your email. We told you we give you 15%. So, work with people, let them know who you are, right? Find different ways to inject that. On a very popular product page, there can be something that's talking about the founders. There could be a button that people click to get to know the founders. You could have that right there at the bottom of the page. It doesn't have to interrupt. One of the biggest education pieces I help people understand is on-site messaging doesn't have to always interrupt the journey, right? It can be there. It can be part of the website. It can be embedded. It can be in-paged. It could be a fly out. It can add to the experience. But just understand what your customer needs are so you can improve that experience.
The embedded component is a really interesting one that sounds extremely complicated, but actually with technology, it's fairly easy. Can you expand a little bit more for anyone listening about examples of embedding?
Yeah, first off, what I would say to the complexity to that is to first help people know, yes, I can put a message on my website through Justuno that looks like it's just part of my website. How do you do that? Well, first and foremost, that's really what we're here for. If you're struggling with that, shoot us an email so we can help you expedite that process and give you some articles and maybe some videos. That's a lot of where I come in to help people. But really all it is just clicking on your website, right click with your mouse, do an inspection. And what you're looking to target is a specific element or a div. And right there with our rule sets in Justuno, it's literally just copying and pasting to say, look, we want to target this element, this portion of our website, and put something under it or above it. And that way we're not doing the traditional, what we quote unquote call a pop-up or an interruption in your journey. This is now just sitting on the website. The great thing about it is once you get that piece, that initial piece of just knowing where to target on the website, then doing A, B versions, showing different messaging there, quickly changing it. That's the optimization piece. That's the piece where you start to uncover, wow, adding this video right below my add to cart option, it helped expedite for people to know what the experience was. Or we added a CTA button that opened up a message and it talks about the founders and where we came from, and people relate to that. Only people click on it that needed that piece of information. And it was never interrupting their journey. They just thought it was part of the website. But for the most part, that's where the customer service and support at Justuno, I would say out of all the different SaaS companies I've worked with, we stand at the pinnacle of customer support and being able to help people unpack what they might consider a very technical setup, but we send over a quick screen share saying, this is how you target this, this is how you implement it. And we've already got articles in place to help people do that now.
So as we look at kind of scaling up, helping more and more clients, would you say there's what are the most common things present day that you see, you find yourself talking to customers and agencies with?
Two things. First thing goes back to creating a great customer experience, and that would be adding radio dials or check boxes to lead captures, or what we'll call a pop-up welcome offer. Allow for people to indicate what type of product they're interested in. So that might be as simple of, hey, I click a box and I'm telling you that I want to know more about men and kids products, or I'm on a CBD website and I really only want to know about gummies. That way, if Justuno is helping you collect that zero and first party data, and then you tag that, which is automatically tagged once the visitor selects that and provides their email and is tagged inside the email service provider, it allows you to send more custom flows. It allows you to send those segmented messages. It's going to increase your open rates. It's going to increase your engagements. Why? Erik and I have said this like 6 times. You're listening to your customers. You're letting them tell you what information they want more information about. You're knowing more about them. Then that allows you, as you send out those flows, to use UTM targeting. So when they land, you can show Zach, hey, Zach, we just added a new flavor of CBD gummy. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I want to know that. So we're connecting those pieces. The second piece is helping people understand that, just like Erik said, if I land on a website and I don't initially want to engage with the lead capture because I don't want to give you my email or my SMS yet, I don't know if I'm going to buy from you. So 15% there's no value there. But now as I've moved down the journey and I've seen the product that I like, and I'm looking at the reviews and I'm believing more that this product is going to provide that experience, gosh, Erik, I wish I could call that promotion back, give you my email so I could get that little bone. But you know what? I'm going to leave because you're probably going to show me that pop up when I come back. But guess what? I'm not coming back because I don't remember you. So why not just add a tab or a floating CTA so I can click that when I need to and I can call it back up. So just being able to help my agencies and other e-commerce owners know we're just providing a better experience by providing people options.
Well, going back to where Justuno was founded, it was based off of coupon hunting. And knowing that people were leaving Sierra Snowboard to Google Sierra Snowboard coupon code, go to Retail Me Not, and come back. We ranked up our own pages for that to win that customer, and they had an 8 to 11% conversion rate. And I tried educating retailers like, this is what's happening. This is the customer journey, so to speak. And, fast forward today, do you hear any conversation around honey? Because the honey plugin is presenting codes, which some are valid, some are invalid. And my biggest thing was 90% of these codes are invalid and just screws up the whole experience. So again, be open and communicate with your customers. Say, hey, look, we know you're price conscious. The number one thing with Amazon. Well, there's some deals out there probably. So allow us to just show you be transparent, 100% what's available to you today. And let's move on to your next objection.
Yeah, I've seen that type of shopper, where they first go to a site, they don't see an incentive, so they Google it to try to find some type of code on a different website. So think about that as a business owner, and you've said this, go out there and go through that purchase process. Is that information out there? Do you see that people are coming from those sources? Because in Justuno, you can definitely have like hidden source fields in your lead capture and capture. Is that where people are coming from? And that'll help you understand that I do need to provide incentives. Maybe I need to increase my prices to cover that margin, but new visitors don't know what old prices used to be. And if that's your strategy, well, then you've just unpacked that that's the way that people shop. And that's specific to your brand. And you can try to, increase AOV later on, but win that first purchase. The hardest one is the first conversion, the first purchase.
When you are looking at client websites, what else are you analyzing? Are you going in and looking at top entry pages? What kind of other data are you looking at?
Yeah. When I go into Justuno and I'm in the analytics, I first go and I look and see what items are being abandoned. Because if I'm running a brick and mortar, Eric, I want to know what product's winning. Because where should I walk my customers to, and what are they leaving behind? What's not working? Why are we losing people? The second thing is I want to know what's driving people to my website. I want to know what my top of funnel marketing is saying. And is that message somewhere present on my website? And is it the same message? Is it different? The other thing that I'm looking at is when and how many pages people are abandoning my site. So if I can know that new visitors are leaving after 3 pages, but return visitors are leaving after 6, what's my strategy there? Because I need different messages for those different visitors. That's very impactful. For me, when I see stuff like that, I'm like, gosh, for new visitors, I want to have a banner after 2 pages that comes up that says, hey, click here to see our customer favorite product. Because I want to streamline, I want to make it easy for them to see products that are already winning. Now, my return visitors, like you said, I might want to direct them to a new inventory page so that they see something new on our site, or I might want to recognize them, but I also might want to provide on a new inventory page a flyout that says, hey, if you don't see something new you like, this is the product that's trending this month, and maybe direct them over there. It's just like when at a brick and mortar end caps are used to say, hey, we're featuring this product. And when you feature products, you're just helping people get exposed to products that maybe they didn't initially come to the site for, but you're expanding the opportunity for a future purchase. And I love doing stuff like that with return visitors because we want the site to look active. We want people to know, hey, we're trying to help you see some things that we have to offer.
You just kind of end caps. It's funny. It's like, I, I often, having a background in traditional retail, you recognize that it's all about holidays. It's like you go in any store, it's like, what holiday is coming before you even know it's coming because they've already started to shift out. If you go CVS, Walgreens, you name it, whatever the next holiday candy, it's there. Any car dealership, they're so on it. And that gets into, you're looking at your website as a true retail operation and making sure that you're speaking to whatever the present day holiday is. It's a reason for someone to hit buy. It's like, oh, it's this holiday sale. And if they are a new visitor, they don't know that you might be running that same sale every month, but it's the shopping psychology of don't miss out on this.
Don't miss out on this. The site looks active. I think sometimes without the human experience, the e-commerce brands have missed that a little bit where the brick and mortars have leaned into that, right? But remember, every year over year, we see increase in mobile shopping. We see an increase year over year in e-commerce shopping, even on traditional brick and mortar stores. Take those same wins that have historically worked and bring them on site. It's good to have a weekly product, push to the forefront. It's great to surface that we're recognizing this holiday. As a marketer and as a business owner, you're looking for ways to relate to people. And that's what we all are. We're just people. And these messages can do that. And so that's where we come back to being able to say that you can use your on-site messaging like a digital sales assistant. It's got this, this holiday feel to it. Why? Because it's time to do that. It's time to surface that. People feel good about that. When people see feel good messages, they feel good about your products and your brand.
Yeah. Yeah, hearing you speak like that, it's really, you need retail stores, even like the TV shows about retail stores, there's always a great office manager, great store manager. When you look at retail stores, it's like websites aren't just this machine you turn on and it runs automated. You have to have someone who's customer centric, obsessed behind it, trying to understand, how do I make this shopping experience better? And I feel like so many websites are flat. There's no added life. What, with that said, and that's what we're working towards. How do we bring this passion to the customer experience on site? If we do that, we're going to see an increase in conversions. Are there any examples that people can look at, that can call out, where they have, they are doing right things? I mentioned Chubby's before. I'm very critical. I think they're doing some fantastic things though throughout. They do a lot of giveaways. You can tell there's passion behind the product, even with their photos, the different photo shoots they do. You can tell the products, they're thinking about what their consumers will want to buy. There's their marketing is, speaks to consumers in a I think a pretty solid way. What do you have any that we could shout out, pop to your mind? It's not that it doesn't have to be the entire experience, like some have elements that they're doing right.
I know of a small brand, and it's called IT Brand, or IT Bands. She sells bands for runners that have, we all do as you get up in age, but knee opportunities, right? And on one of her product pages, she has an example. I think it's on her main product page up at the top. It'll be a CTA that is embedded, and it populates, and it says "Meet the Founder." And I love showing people that because, like you said, without that, who is this? Is this just another brand selling knee bands that I can go and get, like you said, at Amazon or CVS or something like that? But when you click that, you get to know a little bit, and it's not coming directly from her. It's a YouTube video that the news, her local news, came in and shot. So it's like, we want to root for people like that. But I also look at a big brand like Everly Wellness, and some of the things that they're doing with banners and exposing people to, with our Commerce AI feature, other products that they sell. When COVID hit, they were the first brand to ever offer in-home COVID tests. But they offer so much more than that. And if people saw this great experience and being able to do lab testing at home, there's a lot of other things and products that they can provide, but they had to surface that with people. And they were doing that through email, but we're also talking about being able to bring that element on site. And that's one of the things they were able to achieve. You and I both know you can never go in and understand, are they running something now? Or, if it's in page, most visitors won't even know that's an on-site message. They'll think it's part of the website, which they should. But those are two brands that immediately come to mind. But I do see so many different brands. It's hard sometimes to know.
But what we can pull out from that is kind of like, what are these questions that audience can ask themselves with their store? And it's like, with that one's like, tell me your story. Like, what story should your customer hear and understand? And whether it's the IT man's like, oh, there's passion behind this product and why they created it. And then if there can be a follow-up, like on top of this, you shopping from us, we view it as a gift to ourselves, and we're going to make sure you have an incredible experience. we have a warehouse here in LA. You buy it, it ships the next day. If you're within the region, it gets to you next day. If you're on the East Coast, it's going to be 3 days. I myself, I shop a lot online, and I want to make sure you get the same experience. You can trust us and look at our reviews. Even with reviews, I feel like there needs to be an element of reviews that review the shopping experience, where it's like, even, like, what do people really care about? When did it ship? Like, it should be like, when did the ship? I mean, maybe it is there, but it's not called out enough. Removing these barriers and showing that you care about what the customer cares about.
One of the things I like seeing is, there's always a lot of talk of subscription based. Well, a lot of your first time visitors, they're not going to go with the subscription option because they're getting to know the brand. But think about that experience. A return visitor, they've made a non-subscription purchase, which in Justuno you can track, and you can let them know, hey, you made a purchase from us. We want to make sure that there's a 5 or a 7% discount when you go subscription. If you're already liking the product, we don't want you to continue to make one-time purchases when we can make it easy for you. But what else is needed in that? Well, you got to tell people it's easy to cancel because maybe they fall on hard financial times, or something else has come up. But think about how important that message can be. And like you said, at a brick and mortar, you and I would have told our sales assistant, you got to tell that to everybody. Why? Because if you don't tell everybody every single time, you're going to miss somebody that would have found a great experience in knowing that. I've walked out of many stores going, that salesperson was really good because they gave me the information I needed. Makes me trust them, makes me want to come back, even if that means spending a little bit more. That's what it's about.
A knowledgeable staff.
Yeah.
So, Zach, we could chat forever, but this is session 1. And it's the end of 2022. By the end of 2023, I think we're going to be a lot further with this, and I'm excited about it. I think the key takeaways here is really, what do the customers care about when they come on your website, and asking yourself that question. What is your brand story? Where are these customers coming from? And how do you, what was the key word? I love that word. We pulled out of this was the I'm looking at my notes right now because I have so many here. We really touched, sorry, with an R. What was it?
Yeah, I mean, for me,
go ahead, sir.
For me, it's all about, again, for me, the formula, it's surface what those competitive separators are early, surface it often, and give them the information that they need. Give them that information that they need.
Visitor recognition.
Visitor recognition, right?
I think that is a great kind of title.
People love saying, and everybody listening to this, you've heard this already, custom messaging, but recognizing people and giving them that information, that's the key. We talked about that. Let people indicate what product that they want more information about. When they come back, recognize that, hey, you're coming from an email about a specific product. Here's a little bit more about that. Here's somebody else that used that product. Did you know you could use the product like this? No, I didn't know that, but you're creating that relationship there, right? But like you said, you're recognizing people. My favorite though, favorite is when you recognize that I've made that first purchase and you recognize that you want me to come back for the second one. That one, if I was running an e-commerce, you better believe my bottom dollar, everybody would be recognized and thanked for that first purchase and asked to come back.
I think that right there is a nugget in terms of, there's only so much time in the day. So if you're gonna do one thing today, I would say go into your analytics, go into your Justuno account, whatever you have, segment out your repeat customers and speak to them differently than your new visitors. It can be something as simple as turn off email capture. Do not show email capture promotion. Do show welcome back. Here's our current promotions or whatever. Do that today. You will be one step ahead of your competition.
Do it today. Don't sleep on that. Your competition is not sleeping.
Yeah.
Kobe never left the gym.
Okay, cool. All right, Zach. Well, thanks so much. And I
Anytime,
hope
Eric.
everyone enjoyed. And we'll see you online.
And you know where to find us. Look us up. We'll be here to help you out.